Now, come on, Norbs. You're supposed to be the wrestling aficionado here, and all you've given was one card. What is wrong with you, man?
We're only 2 weeks away.
Give
What's
more
gonna happen?
analysis to the viewers of Tea Time.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome, everyone, to another great episode of Tea Time with Tommy. Of course, you know the one only Norbz Cabrera with his bottled water.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. So, as you know, our main video episodes are about Raptors basketball. We will be consistent with that Raptors basketball because that's what you guys want us to talk about. But just for today, special episode, because Norbz and I and our very own Brittany Nguyen and Sarah Taplin and Paul Vukacic used to talk about pro wrestling. We did a pro wrestling podcast. If, as you guys know, big news, AEW wrestling for the first time is coming to Toronto, Canada. I believe the country of Canada as well, Norbz, in October 12th and 13th. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I promise you guys, after this, we're just going to talk Raptors basketball. But just for today, and just for Norbz Cabrera, we're talking AEW wrestling in Toronto, Canada. So, first topic, Norbz, is yes, AEW coming to Toronto for the first time. What do you think? It's coming.
It's huge, man. And October 12th and 13th is going to be buzzing in downtown Toronto in the CNE Fair, the CNE exhibition grounds, the Coca-Cola Coliseum, where they'll be hosting AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage the 12th and 13th. That's the Wednesday and the Thursday. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a jam-packed crowd. Toronto wrestling fans are always one of the best wrestling cities in the world. And AEW, since its inception in 2019, unfortunately with the pandemic happening in right in the middle of that, they would have come to Toronto earlier, much earlier, but with the pandemic happening, so now Toronto and their fans get a chance to see all the stars in AEW come and perform in the Great White North in Toronto, Canada. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a jam-packed crowd. I already have my buddy going and his brother. So, it's
I'm going.
Be very, very...
I'm going.
You are going. That's awesome.
Oh, Norbz now knows that I'm going.
There you go. Hey, there's a surprise.
Going with a friend. Going to see Rampage because Dynamite is ridiculously high prices.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
Rampage,
Thank you, Ticketmaster, for ruining that for us. But anyway,
and StubHub.
That it is what it is. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm pumped up for that. Definitely, it's going to be a loud and proud capacity crowd in the CNE exhibition grounds for that show.
Yeah, you know what? Once again, guys, it's just a special episode. AEW, we will talk Raptors. So the ones who are upset about this, talking about wrestling, we'll talk about Raptors. Don't worry, guys. But yes, AEW is coming to Toronto, Canada. I am going with a friend to Rampage. Could afford it. StubHub. Get on it, guys. StubHub, Rampage. It's affordable. It's not ridiculous like Dynamite, but this is big news because, as you guys know, me and Norbz, we started the Tea Time with Tommy podcast doing pro wrestling with Sean Columbus, Sarah Taplin, Paul Vukacic. We can go on and on. Brittany, yeah, a slew of other co-hosts we had in the past, or the last two remaining. But yeah, we were big AEW fans, and I mean, this is such an exciting time, Norbz, because I mean, AEW, I believe, is the better product compared to WWE, as we've spoken before on our wrestling podcast, and I think this is big time. I think it's the first in Canada, I believe, Norbz, as well.
It is.
AEW territory is coming. Hopefully, it will be a great card for Dynamite. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Dynamite because the prices are ridiculous. So Norbz and I could not get Dynamite. We're upset about that.
Yeah, but, thanks, Ticketmaster.
Yeah, thanks, Ticketmaster. But Rampage was affordable. I'm going with a friend. Unfortunately, Norbz can't join me. However, AEW will come back again. Norbz and I can go media passes to Dynamite. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, we couldn't get media passes either. Thank you very much, AEW, for that. But I understand AEW Wrestling needs something from us. So once our podcast improves, Norbs, maybe then we can go. But yeah, it's going to be amazing. And looking forward to it. And once again, guys, please watch our past pro wrestling episodes and try to make it more than 100 views. That'd be great. Our past episodes on pro wrestling. We talked a lot about AEW wrestling back in the day. Okay, so AEW wrestling. Our second question is: what will it have a positive impact for the Canadian pro wrestling fan base when AEW is coming to Toronto? What do you think? What do you think will have a positive impact when they?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely, hands down. AEW is the alternate wrestling product right now, and there's a lot. There's quite a bit of AEW talent that are Canadian born, like Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, which unfortunately he is suspended with the Young Bucks, and his appearance in Toronto could be hanging in the balance. We'll never know. Unfortunately, they were suspended, but Kenny Omega is also from Canada, along with a slew of others in the AEW roster. I think it's going to be a huge impact for Canada because it's a different flavor, it's a different feel for professional wrestling in Canada, and Canadians always like to see professional wrestling. They don't like to see much of sports entertainment. They want to see the original grassroots of professional wrestling that is cultivated from AEW, and AEW is a really steward for professional wrestling, and it really shows in their programs in the past. So I'm thinking it will impress a lot of Canadians, and a lot of it's going to bring a lot of excitement and energy. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to give this to you, Norbs, because you're more of a pro wrestling aficionado than I am. But I think it's going to be a definite positive impact. Kind of disappointing that they couldn't book it at Scotiabank Arena. Like, I mean, AEW is a really good pro wrestling product. Like, Norbs and I believe, no diss to WWE, but it's a better product than WWE currently. We believe. So, I mean, I think it's kind of disappointing that they couldn't book at Scotiabank. But someday, once they make noise within the Canadian fan base, I'm sure they'll be able to book it at Scotiabank Arena. But I mean, I believe personally that it's going to be a huge positive impact. I agree with Norbs. Huge deal, because man, like me, Norbs, we're talking about AEW back in the day when we did the pro wrestling podcast. Hopefully, it's going to come to Canada someday. Now it is here. It is big, guys, and I think it's gonna do tremendous things. Hopefully, Norbs, it's gonna be successful. That ticket prices didn't help. Like Tony Khan raking up those ticket prices for Dynamite does not help at all. But I heard it's gonna be a packed house for Dynamite, so that's a good thing. But Tony Khan, please, man, like you can't do that, man. Like you got to be affordable. You and Ticketmaster got to be affordable, Mr. Khan, sir. Yeah. You can't afford $200 tickets for Dynamite.
Well, you know what? If it was like in Ottawa or something, that would have been more affordable. But Toronto is very expensive in everything, like concerts, Leafs tickets, and sporting events and all that stuff. I mean, it's a ridiculously expensive city.
I'll be real quick before we jump to the next topic, Norbs. Like, I'm really surprised that I don't know who it was. Was it Tony Khan? Was it the AEW marketing employees there? But I mean, this is the first chance for them to make a huge impact for the Canadian fan base, biggest city, the mecca of Canada, Toronto, Canada. To just put up the ticket prices astronomical rate like that is kind of quizzical to me, because you want it to be a packed house, so Canadian fans can, experience the great live product that AEW has. But I don't know, maybe, but supposedly they thought, hey, we have a rabid Canadian fan base pro wrestling here, and we'll buy those tickets. But hopefully be packed. Like, I mean, first impression, you can't be ranking up the ticket prices like that. But I mean, they know more than us, right? So,
I mean, what's the capacity at Coca-Cola Coliseum anyway? Like 15,000? 10,000?
Yeah, it's where the Marlies play, right?
Yeah.
Now, the Marlies guys are AHL team to the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NHL.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, I guess they had to make revenue?
It's the taxes and Ticketmaster wants their cut, and everybody wants their cut. So that's
Yeah.
that's probably why it's so ridiculously expensive. I mean, would you rather see a AEW wrestling event or go to a Leafs game? I mean, that's there's no brainer
AEW
there.
wrestling event. Come on, Norbz.
Absolutely, yes.
Over the
Absolutely.
Leafs. Leafs aren't going by the first round, so
That's the
another
spirit.
topic.
That's the spirit.
All right, like let's hopefully down the line. Hopefully it's a packed house and they'll be able to come back because we need to show them a good impression. Toronto, Canada, and Canada in general. So let's fill the house for Dynamite and Rampage so they come back and Norbs can actually afford a ticket next year. So going to the final topic, Norbs. So it's gonna be interesting here. It's a fun one. Who do you think will be on the main card and Dynamite and Rampage for when they come on the 12th and 13th of October?
Well, there's still 2 weeks away because the next Dynamite will be in Washington D.C. and then for October 5th, and then the following week will be in Toronto. The card has not fully been organized yet, but in last night's AEW Dynamite show, Chris Jericho has challenged Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, for the ROH Championship. So Chris Jericho is going to put his title on the line against Bryan Danielson because Chris Jericho's mission is to desecrate and to bring down the Ring of Honor promotion because he's the ROH champion. Yeah, and he calls it now the Ring of Jericho. So that is so far the main event in the card that's coming up in Toronto. Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson.
Wow!
But the card will fill up very soon after next week. So we're gonna hear a whole lot more matches coming up.
Now, come on, Norbs. You're supposed to be the wrestling aficionado here, and all you've given was one card. What is wrong with you, man?
We're only 2 weeks away.
Give more analysis to the viewers of Tea Time.
We need to know what's going to happen in next week's Dynamite, so it'll plant the seeds for the following week. Come on,
this is a fun topic, and we're supposed to take a guess. You give a one match, which is a good one
match. That was official. That was made last Dynamite show. We'll hear a lot more. I mean, Rampage airs on a Friday, so we're going to hear a whole lot more coming up. That's for sure.
On behalf of Tea Time, all the viewers, I'd like to apologize on behalf of us because my wrestling aficionado has no clue beyond one match. So I apologize for that, guys. Sorry about that. But anyways, honestly, I think that's a good call, Norbs. I got Danielson and Jericho. Good call on that one. Rampage card. I wouldn't mind seeing my favorite. Of course, other than Hikaru Shida, of course, my favorite wrestler, Jade Cargill. Man, would that be something? Because I could afford the Rampage tickets, Norm. So I have a feeling maybe Miss Cargill will make an appearance on Rampage card. So the Dynamite, you got Danielson and you got Danielson Jericho. MJF. Do you think MJF and Utah maybe would be under that Dynamite card in Toronto? That could be also a co-main event in itself. Moxley definitely will be. You got to add Wild Thing on the Toronto card in Dynamite, so maybe it could be like Moxley got a little, that rivalry with Jericho's new clique. I don't know what they're called. Jericho
Appreciation Society.
So maybe
we could see matches.
Moxley and Hager.
Those. Yeah.
Moxley and Hager, Dynamite.
Yeah, and we'll never know if Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, will put a foot in his mouth to challenge Wheeler Yuta for the for a match in Toronto. But we'll have to see what his mind thinks next week on Dynamite.
Absolutely,
in DC. A whole lot of possibilities that's coming up for the Toronto event.
Absolutely. Stop interrupting me, would you please?
I thought you were finished.
I'm kidding. My bad. I'm just joking though. I'm just joking with you, man. So basically, that's the main card. Good point, Norm. So this is going to be my guess from my side. Tell me if you agree with this, Norm. So you got Jericho, Danielson. This is the Dynamite card, guys. MJF, Utah, and then maybe Moxley versus Hager or one of the members of Jericho's new clique. just for fun, Norbs, let's go with Rampage main event. Now, it's not as big as the Dynamite, right? So I'm looking at Carjo. Maybe will be on there. Britt Baker, DMD. And no way am I trying to say that woman wrestler shouldn't star in Dynamite. Don't think that's what I'm saying here, guys. Like, I would rather see Carjo than Jericho and Danielson. I'd rather see that. She's my favorite. Yeah. Maybe who else do you think would maybe one of the members of maybe Eddie Kingston?
Well, we could possibly see like the trios champions compete. That's Death Triangle. That's Pac and Penta and Ray Phoenix. They could make an appearance on Rampage. I mean, Jade Cargill is the TBS champion, undefeated so far, so she could have another match to continue on this undefeated streak for Rampage. Sting and Darby Allin, like they do have a match the next Rampage, but we'll see if their storyline. I'm thinking there's probably a storyline with them in the House of Black, so we'll see. We'll see how that lingers on. Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. They have a feud
Starks
going.
And Hobson.
Yeah, and Christian Cage could possibly make an appearance on Dynamite, right? He's been feuding with Jungle Boy, so all the possibilities happening. So I mean they're building up the card right now. So it could be fun and exciting. All those possibilities.
Absolutely, great call. And one last thing, Norbz, forgot Orange Cassidy. How can we forget about Mr. Cassidy, right?
Yeah, Wardlow and Samoa Joe. Yeah.
Oh,
you'll probably see most of them in the Toronto show. Unfortunately, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks won't be there. CM Punk won't be there.
Oh.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
You know what I'm disappointed about? That's why I couldn't get Dynamite tickets. Man, I want to see MJF live. Darn it. But maybe he'll make an appearance on Rampage, but I don't know why he'd bother.
He's probably going to sit in the skybox waiting for Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, man. If I can just see MJF, that will be a $53 StubHub ticket worth a while. If I could see MJF on Rampage, if that happens.
That's for sure.
But yeah, anyways, final thoughts, Norbs, before we sign off about AEW coming to Toronto, Canada, first time.
Like I said, it's just going to be exciting. It's their very first show, and I mean, when you open up your show into a different country, you always want to impress the crowd. So it is, it is very meaningful to be a wrestling fan to see that for the first time. And I think that AEW has got to do great with this production. So because the fans always like pick up anything that could happen. The dirt sheets are out there sometimes that criticizes like the whole show, but I hope that the AEW like just puts on a good show for the fans, so the dirt sheets can just shut their mouth and just continue watching the show as is. So let's just enjoy the product.
And please, Tony Khan and AEW marketing team, lower the prices next year if you come back. Like, I mean, that's ridiculous. Like $200 on StubHub, really? So it means Ticketmaster is probably $400 for Dynamite. Come on, guys. Come on, Tony Khan.
It's like watching a Harry Styles concert, for goodness sakes. With those ridiculous
watching a Leafs
prices.
game.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Welcome to Toronto.
Let's move to Miami, Norbs. But didn't hear that.
Well, not right now. Well, the hurricane's happening there, but our prayers to those people over there.
Prayers to the people
impacted.
Absolutely, Tampa, absolutely. But hey, this was a great episode. We promised Tea Time viewers will be back to Raptors basketball after this from now on. This is just a special episode because me and Norbs are big AEW fans in the day. So please don't go in the comment section saying, where's Raptors basketball? Why are you talking about pro wrestling? So, and also we apologize for Ken Burch's missed height. I apologize, guys. However, it's not the end of the world that we didn't know he was 6'9". We thought he was 7 feet tall and not 6'9". Please forgive us. It's not the end of the world, guys. So our apologies on thinking Ken Burch was 7 feet tall. He's actually 6'9". Okay. Other than that, thank you for joining us, guys. Once again, catch AEW Live October 12th, 13th. Tickets are still available, right, Norbs? On StubHub and Ticketmaster. Catch it. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully it'll be a success if they come back next year. Tommy Lee, Norbz Cabrera, signing out.
Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Tommy going on about how an NBA star is just going to make the Raptors win when it's not. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, guys.